And he's like, well, hey, he says, do you think you could come up with a franchisable foundation repair company? So, I knew at first when all that happened, the split with the partners and everything, I was done. I was done
Yeah.
with foundation repair. I wanted out, the whole thing. But what I realized in that, it's not that I wanted out of foundation repair or wanted out of what I was doing. I wanted out of that partnership.
Yeah.
I saw it for what it was, and I wanted out of it. And I didn't want it to go the way that it did, but the Lord knew, and He knew what He was doing. And now in hindsight, I wouldn't change a thing. I would want it to happen exactly the same way again. And he's like, well, hey, he says, do you think you could come up with a franchisable foundation repair company? And I said, I don't know. And he's like, well, who I grew up with, and they've got their hands in franchises and all this kind of stuff. And he said, I know they'd be really interested in having a foundation repair franchise concept. And he said, so if you think you can make this work, he said, let's do it. He says, you come talk to me when your non-compete is up. And he says, I'll back you.
Wow.
And so the year was up, went in, talked to him, and had that time to kind of plan and formulate what would all this look like. Came up with the foundation doctor name. And during that time, one of the things I started doing was just consulting. I could not, the non-compete would not allow me to repair anything, but came up with the concept of the doctor who would go assess a foundation, write a prescription, and I had used all that medical terminology and all that kind of stuff, and said, let me come write you a prescription for your home's foundation. And then you go wherever you want to get that prescription filled. Hire who you want to repair it. But instead of having a repairer make your plan, the person going to charge you all this, why don't I come in and tell you exactly what you need, and then you take that to somebody and say,
in some ways, that's better.
It actually is. And it was real empowering for a lot of people.